Okay there, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Now as you can see, I'm not actually on a tractor today, which is pretty amazing. Now that is because we are up to date with all our tractor work, and we're just waiting for a herd of beefies on the other side of that hedge to get finished on the paddock of oats that they're on, so that we can put barley in. So after that paddock of oats is finished and the barley is in, then it will be time for holidays. As after that, 1, 2, 3, 4 paddocks will be flipped over and put into fodder beet. And of course that'll be mid-October that happens. And we'll also be taking those paddocks of oats out of oats and into kale. They'll be used for winter feed next year, along with the fodder beet. Bugger. And yes, we are feeding out silage. I just dropped the trough off, but I just like to put it in a bulb patch because the calves camp around it, stomp out the grass around it, and they don't make a mess of the good grass, they only make a mess of what's already a mess. So currently there are only 2 herds of calves on this property, and as you can see the other herd is just over there, and you may even be able to pick up Dad shifting them just there. Oh, he's looking at us. Oh, sorry, do you want something? Do you want something? Is that why you're here? Yeah, we'll get you some breakfast just after I put this super sexy helmet on. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and a half, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well guys, that's that fence up. So I thought I'd just quickly show you guys what these calves are eating. Now this is of course plantain. It is in this paddock simply for a farm environment plan. Now we don't tend to like this stuff because it grabs so much growth from the rest of the plants around it. So the grass mix that we've just put in these other paddocks that have been shown in later film doesn't contain any plantain. It's literally clover, 8 kgs of clover, and then 20 kgs of Italian ryegrass. So in this mix is plantain, clover, and a perennial grass. They'll eat this off and then it'll be all ploughed under and go into fodder beet. Now of course in the last week we have had 2 days of super high gale force winds. And as you can see, this pivot is still standing. We did not move it at all because it's up against that hedge, so it doesn't really need to be moved out of the wind. But all the other pivots, especially the small ones, are all left pointing towards the mountains because that's where the prevailing wind comes from. Why do we do that? Well, simply imagine the wind's coming from Mount Hutt at a very powerful speed. It's not going to harm or touch anything that's straight in line with it, is it? But if you put it to a right angle, it's going to create a real mess. And of course, flip that irrigator on its side. So all our rotorators, they are parked up against hedges, so they can't move. As you can see, one is right there, and the pivots are parked accordingly into the wind, so they have no risk of toppling over. But just to give you guys a grasp on what we were dealing with the other night, this is the neighbors. There is no yard in miles upwind that drum can come from. We are scratching our heads on where that guy came from, and also where that guy came from. God, you're a weird dog. Check. Well guys, lately here on the farm we've got all the tractor work up to date and all the seed in the ground that we can currently get into the ground. The heifers that you guys just watched me move, they have had their animal health and they have been weighed. A special mixture of fertilizer that complements the soil and the minerals it needs, and also the minerals that the oats need to grow, has gone on. The wheat is currently getting a mixture of fertilizer as well, tailor-made to specifically benefit the growth of that plant. And we've had a meeting about our insurances, making sure that everything's in line and re-evaluating items like of buildings, machinery, liability, and as you'd expect, Mum's mountain bike, because it does actually get used on the farm. Now we've had 2 windy days and luckily no damage, as I said earlier. Weather has been pretty crazy, so check out what Monday looked like for us. As you can see, after all this wind, nothing here has been damaged. And as you can see, these silos are pretty empty. Well, there's a fert truck now. So of course, with the silos being empty, it's lucky that they didn't fly away, because obviously that's a big surface area catching that wind. I've been working on that rake there, pulling all of these modules apart from this into this, and now I've formed a massive parts list that I'll head into Ashburton now and get this sorted, get these parts on the way, because I don't want COVID holding us up in November when we want to be using this machine. So I better grab a mask and head in. Oh, here he is now. Here, don't tell Mum. Oh, shit. There you go.
You'll hold it.
There. There you go. Push in. it runs a lot smoother now.
Oh yeah, it's nice.
Need to loosen off that hose clean. Might be this Saturday.
We'll do the one above. Might be this Saturday then. Hold up, no. Yeah, let it off. That's him going, that's
Yeah.
going up.
Well guys, that's Dad sorted out. I had to obviously help him fix the drill. So you guys just seen me put wheat in the drill. Now there is a 100-meter stretch that was missed where the computers on the drill must have turned off. Whoever was driving it, whether it was me or Dad, most likely him, didn't realize and hasn't been drilling for a 100-meter stretch. So that's what he's done. We've just thrown it all back together again and then got him back out there. But why have we got wire through the middle of our paddock right on a pivot rut? Well guys, we've had a bit of a mishap up here. So not that you can see a lot of it, but I've just put this wire in. Also missing this wire, aren't we? And this wire is obviously loose. We've also got kinks in our wire now. We are missing insulators, more kinks, and we are missing some posts. So what has happened here? Well, everybody who owns a center pivot is now laughing or yelling at their TV going, thank God it's not only us. Because of this guy right here. So on Saturday we moved these pivots round to be pointing towards the mountains to make sure that they weren't going to be taken out by the high wind. And on its trip back to be parked over there, the rear wheel on the outside tyre has become stuck in this hole. Meanwhile, the front wheel has got wires tangled around it. It's sitting there in one spot, just pulling them in. And of course it's taken in that wire, pulled a couple of posts out. If not, it's ripped the insulators out, and that's why we've got wire through paddocks. So as you can imagine, that's quite frustrating, but part of farming, isn't it? You're just here to make me look good, aren't you? Hey? It is so handy having a trailer with absolutely everything in it for fencing. Okay there guys, primarily all of our fences here, they are 3 wires. Now around the outside of the farm is different. It's netting, then there's 6 wires, and then there's more netting, and then there's 6 wires. But primarily all of these fences on the interior, 3 wires. They've got springs in them for the pivots moving over top. And they've also got this vine wire where the pivots actually cross. Now what this vine wire does is connect all of these 3 wires together, so that if I pull this one, you can see all the rest come along with it. But it's more for the principle of if one wire tries to go walkabout with the pivot, the other 2 can grab it and pull it in. And of course it's the top wire and the middle wire that are only electrified, and the bottom wire is not electrified, and the power does not go in between these 2 wires via this vine. Well guys, I've got 3 more of those vine wires to do, and then I'll see you guys tomorrow. This is the other half of the problem. As you can see here, this is the other half of the fence, and this is the other part of the fence as well. But as you can see, not only this wire, but that wire, it's gone around the wheel, pulled into the hub, tightens right up, and now it's really difficult to get out. Yeah. What? Just a little bit more.
All right.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Go up.
Three lift up. Lift up. That looks like a pretty well new tractor.
Yeah.
New farm,
Here we go. Well guys, that's 1 of 4 posts. Now what I've got to do is bang those 3 insulators on this post and go and do the other 4. And then I've got a couple of other posts that I took out while cultivating to replace on the way home. Well there guys, it's a wee bit of exercise. But as you can see here, I've put all this vegetation on top because hopefully those roots will grow down and making this fixture a little bit more sturdy. But that concrete in there should be good foundations. Got this concrete to load back up. Then I've got another one to do. But otherwise guys, hey, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've learned something. I hope you've got more appreciation for agriculture and what we do on this farm. And if you like it, give it a thumbs up. And also if you haven't subscribed and you've watched this video all the way to the end, why not subscribe? Anyway guys, thank you very much.